Hi, happy Friday, good afternoon. I am outside. I realize I don't go outside that much on camera because it's still like 87 degrees here. So I'm in Florida and it is hot. So I try to stay indoors, and I don't know if you can hear the cicadas. It can be really freaking loud so that I'm like yelling on top of them. So I usually just hide inside in the air conditioning, but I thought I'd come outside because it's a little breezy. I'm feeling a little bit of fall in the air. Tell me where you're coming from. I would love to find out where you are. Like I said, I'm in Florida. It is still hot here, but it's supposed to cool down soon. I am Stephanie. If you don't know me, I am a retired party girl. And then I was a wine mom. I was hiding a little bit of alcoholism underneath the mommy wine umbrella, and I was having blackouts. I was doing DUIs and just all the things. And then eventually it got to where I thought it would be easier to quit than it actually was. I went to try to quit and couldn't even make it 3 days. And I realized like my life was falling apart. I was 30 pounds heavier, and I just knew I had to quit. And there were some steps that I went through to get there. And it's been quite a journey, but now I'm helping other women get sober if that's what they want. And I think one reason that kept me from getting sober for so long is because I didn't want to go to AA. My mother went to AA and she died from cirrhosis of the liver, so it didn't help her. And I know that it helps millions. But it didn't help her. And I remember going in and out of there with her when I was a little girl, and it was just traumatic for me. So I knew that I didn't want to go do that, but I thought that was the only way. So it took me a lot longer to quit than it should have. And then I also did not want the label of alcoholic. I was like, I don't want that, because as soon as my mom said, I'm an alcoholic, it feels like our life fell apart. So I didn't want the label. I didn't want to go to AA. And I also didn't think I was powerless. Because my grandmother just instilled in me forever I could do whatever I want, I could be whoever I want, and I just never thought that I was the type to be powerless and to go sit in a room and just say I'm powerless. See what I mean? I'm outside. This is why I'm inside from now on. If that's all that happens to me while I'm outside in Florida, then I'm grateful for that. We'll see. Okay, so you want to cut out the drinking. Yes. It got to be something that you want to do, and there are some steps to take. You can go right now to vibewithstephanie.com, and there's tips, 7 easy quit tips that I used to quit drinking, and they helped me a lot. Like I'm giving you exactly the blueprint of what I did, not knowing what I was getting into. I just knew I had to do it. I had one last blackout on my son's 5th birthday party, and woke up the next morning with a black eye, and I was just like crushed. How much more could I put myself through and put him through? Knowing that I went through it as a little girl with my mom, how could I be putting him through this also? So it was just, I was just done after decades of abuse. So anyway, vibewithstephanie.com, you can get tons of tips. I do mostly work with women, and but these tips are going to help you too. But I do mostly like to help women. And do you know that more than half of us women, or Americans, half of Americans want to quit drinking? Like, we want to quit, but we're not quitting. What do you think the reason for that is? You're not alone. It is a slow drip, right? You don't just wake up, have a drink of beer, and all of a sudden you can't stop drinking beer. It kind of is a slow thing. Like, it took me 10, 20 years to get to the point where I am no longer able to control my drinking. So I'm glad that you're here, and I bet that if you're here and you're still hanging on, it's probably because alcohol is just not fun anymore. And didn't that seem to happen like overnight? Like one day we're having fun, and the next day we're drinking to feel better, but it doesn't make us feel better. We're actually feeling worse about ourselves, about our life. It is tied to a reward system, and we are going to break that. I actually have a couple of free things coming up, so it's going to sound like a lot. I'm actually here to talk about the podcast that I did yesterday. But I do want to tell you about the free things that we have coming up. The first thing is the MINDSET Masterclass. It's a sobriety mindset masterclass, open to men as well if you want. And this is just a few of the things that might be holding you back, a few of the beliefs that you might have that are holding you back from quitting. And even though you seem to want it and you seem to try, and something is always holding you back, I have a few secrets that may help. We're going to break your beliefs and we're going to rebuild them up. So it's a free mindset masterclass. You can go to vibewithstephanie.com/masterclass to sign up for that. And it's at 7 o'clock. You'll get all the details in an email. And it's free, and it's a lot of fun, and it's 1 hour. So you will get, and there's a free workbook that I created too that will help you just start busting through these bad beliefs that are keeping you drinking, even though you don't want to. And and you might see a couple of chickens walk behind me too. And the hangovers, I mean, those got to be crazy, right? Like how much more, they didn't used to be that bad. When I was younger, I would wake up at 7 in the morning and go run and go work out, even though I had been drinking all night until freaking the AM. But now a couple of glasses of wine send me into a 3-day hangover in which I'm just dropping the ball all over the place. Like everything seems to be overwhelming when you're hungover, and it carries over for days and days. And I just couldn't really deal anymore. Everything felt way too overwhelming. And then you may be here because something terrible happened and you know that you need to quit, but maybe it's just gotten harder. Like you said, I'm never going to drink again. And then you still find yourself drinking again. So definitely check out that Mindset Masterclass. It will help you understand that no, you're not alone. This is not abnormal. This is a normal progression for alcohol, and it is going to get worse. And then we can break some beliefs around it too. Okay, so the podcast that I did yesterday, it's called 𝗚𝗹𝗏𝗄 Check it out. There's so many amazing nuggets and free tips in there for mindset and alcohol and quitting and support. So it's called 𝗚𝗹𝗏𝗄, and I added sober on so everybody knew it was a sober podcast. And yesterday I did a podcast called 12 Juicy Benefits of Getting Sober. And there's some that you probably already know, like no hangovers, sleeping better, but there's some that you might not think about. One of my favorites was the fact that your own dopamine is going to start coming back into your body naturally once you stop drinking. So there was a time when nothing made me happy unless I had a drink. I would go to another kid's birthday party, and if their parents didn't have alcohol, I was annoyed and couldn't wait to get home and have my mimosa or my beer or whatever. And that's because my happiness was only being fueled by dopamine. So alcohol is a drug. It gives you this fake rush of dopamine. But if you don't have it, you're starting to feel like crap until you have it again. So once you quit drinking, it does suck. Your body is like, where's the dopamine? Where do I get my happiness? You're trying to find happiness. Yes. Oh, that's a good point. It's very exhausting to keep trying to moderate and fail. It's like it's a nasty cycle, and I'm sure you know of it. And all you're doing is like beating the crap out of your self-esteem, that internal debate, and the freedom that comes with just being like, I don't drink anymore. I don't drink anymore. Not that it's that easy in the beginning, because it's not. But once your own dopamine starts figuring out that the alcohol's not coming, it can recreate its own dopamine again, your own body's dopamine, then you're happy again, and the little things make you happy again, like playing soccer with your little kid or watching the ice cream truck go by. Like little things will start to bring joy when they were kind of annoying before because you didn't have a cocktail in your hand. So that's one of my favorites, is your happiness, your joy comes back. There's chickens all around me. Let's see. Another one was spiritual growth. This was huge for me. Like, I know some people don't like AA because of the God part of it. For me, God is the reason I finally got sober. I mean, I prayed and begged for years to just take this away from me. Hey, Denise. And I think that over time, I finally got what I wanted, and it's probably, I wasn't ready for all of this. I didn't know I was going to come forward and help all these women. I didn't know that was part of my journey. I mean, if you would have asked me this a year ago, I just would not have believed you. God is everything. So some people are like, oh, great. I love that you have a different way than AA. And I will not cram God down your throat, but I will have you dig deep and find out what your reason. Talk to your inner child, who I talk to a lot. Like, I feel so bad for that little girl that I drowned in wine after the upbringing that she had. I'm about to cry. After the upbringing that I had, to drown myself in wine and to live out the way my mom did. I forgot where I was going, but spiritual growth, you're gonna just grow a lot in personal development, spiritual growth. You're gonna feel, hey Val in the mountains, I've not seen you in forever. So yeah, spiritual growth is amazing because you're going to find so much more time in your life that you're not drinking. It's not just the physical act of drinking that took away from your time, but it's actually what it took from your mind. You just had this fog that you can't seem to get out of. And the other morning I was packing up my little boy's homework and books and lunch and all the things, and things I have to remember for his school. And had I been hungover, I would have dropped the ball on that. That was happening a lot. I was dropping the ball. I was forgetting this. I was forgetting what day it was at school and forgetting my job stuff. Like I work for myself. I have to keep this show running. And it was just hard to, oh, yay. I'm so happy to hear this about the podcast. Yay. Definitely check out 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗍. It is awesome. It is, when I first started, it was so hard to speak. I felt like imposter syndrome. Like, who the hell am I? I've been sober for 5 minutes at that time. How can I speak? And my voice cracked and I was just a nervous wreck. And it took me a long time to be able to talk and feel like I am providing value. And I still have some AA people say, well, you've only been sober a year and that's not enough time. And I just can't help but think it is, because when it occurred to me that the reason I hadn't gotten sober sooner was the fact about the AA and the label, and how many moms are walking around out there who would just rather die than go step inside of AA or call themselves an alcoholic. Like a lot of women, especially at the rate that we are drinking now with COVID. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word, but you know what I mean? Our drinking has picked up a lot of speed for a lot of different reasons. And I lost track again. So I know that there are more women than just me. It was like an eye-opening thing. I was like, if I, then what if? And so I had to talk about it. So you're going to find a lot more spiritual growth because you have time and your eyes are open. Maybe mine are too open because I'm now like prepping for the end of the world and all this stuff. But, maybe I should do a podcast about that too. But yeah, my eyes are wide open. The sun gave me a break. Okay. What else? Better sleep. I'm going to be honest about this. Your sleeping is going to suck at first. Because if you're like me, you are used to putting yourself to sleep with wine, right? Or whatever your drink of choice was, that's how you went to sleep. And so at first, you're going to be a mess. You're going to be sweating, tossing and turning. You might even be having withdrawals. I'm not sure. I can't exactly say. I mean, I was hallucinating in a grocery store one time. You might know this story. Early in my sobriety, I should not have been in the grocery store, which I will teach you not to get in your car and drive during a certain amount of time. But I drove to the grocery store and they had all these end caps filled with white wine with twist-offs. And I stood there and thought for a moment that I was going to take I was going to drink it right there in the aisle. Little boy was right there too. I didn't do it, but it was an outer body experience. I saw myself guzzling down that white wine, warm white wine. And it was just a craving and a trigger and something that was uncontrollable, and it washed over me, and then it went away. Thank God. But I did buy you can get like a case of Bud Zeros, and I walked out and slammed a cold one of those in the parking lot once I bought that, and I got out of there. So I'm all about non-alcoholic beers. They saw me through some really rough times, even though I was never really a beer drinker. It just gets you through in the moment when you need something right away. And it's also great for events, like if you're gonna go hang out with a friend, which I don't recommend early on, but if you're going to, you have to have yourself some beers, especially if they're drinking, and you need to be set up. So what's another thing? Happier life, no regrets. Okay, I will save the rest of these for the podcast, so you can go listen to the podcast, Glow Big Sober, and I'm always doing raffles for coffee cards. So if you review it, if you go to Apple Podcasts, I'm also on Spotify. If you review it, I will put your name in a bucket and I will do a raffle for a coffee card. I would appreciate it because I'm so new and I want to get the word out that I'm here. So thank you for the review in advance. And then, so my last one is no regrets. No regrets. I mean, I don't know about you, but there was always some kind of regret. Like I would be like, what did I text? What did I post? Did I go live? Did I say something to a family member? And it's kind of strange. This is off topic a little bit, but I've been sober almost a year. And sometimes at night, I still will do something kind of silly, like kind of some kind of drunk behavior a little bit, like maybe just an out loud text or laugh or something that feels a little like something I might have said or done when I was drinking. But that's completely off topic. But no regrets is nice because I have no regrets. I don't do anything stupid because I'm not freaking drunk. I don't say anything stupid. I don't pass out early. I don't forget to kiss my kid goodnight. I don't leave stuff on the stove burning. It's just no regrets and peace. There's a peace and contentment that comes with being able to trust yourself, right? Like, just, I may not be as fun or unpredictable or wild. I may not dance on this table tonight, but I can trust myself. I'm going to go to sleep with a good conscience, and it just feels good. So, okay, we talked about Mindset Masterclass. That is this Tuesday night. That's the very first event we have coming up next. It is Tuesday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard. It's free. It's 1 hour. You get a free mindset workbook to print out and download, and you can work on it while we're doing the masterclass. And then there is also Sober October that I'm putting on inside of my group. That is for women. Thanks, Nadine. There is, so the Sober October, all of this can be found at 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏.com. You can just pick which one you want or do all. They're all free. Then there's Break Up with Booze Challenge. That is going to be so much fun. I'm so extra excited about this. It's a 4-day challenge, and it's from October 3rd to October 6th. So it's 4 days. I'll be live every day, and we're going to be breaking up with booze just like you would a boyfriend. Like, we're going to make, well, I don't want to give you all the things, but it's going to be so much fun, and it's just like a breakup, a clean break with alcohol. So it's going to get you ready to move on, because a lot of breakups come out of the blue, right? And you're like, oh my God, you don't know how to handle it. Everything, your world crashes down. This is a breakup that you're planning, you have control of. You are the break-up-er, not the breakup-y. So it's a lot of fun. I've been through a lot of breakups because of my drinking, so I have some experience in this, and I'm going to make it a blast. Of course, there's a workbook, there's challenges every single day. We'll be making mocktails and things like that. And the Sober October is great because we'll be having giveaways and all kinds of fun stuff for Sober October too, just like little challenges and little this and that. So make sure you tune in and you are with us, because I'm putting a lot of work into this, but it is also a lot of fun. All right, so vibewithstephanie.com, and you can get everything you need there. And if you have any questions, I'm right here right now until I gotta go take a shower again. Yay, Val, I hope to see you there. vibewithstephanie.com/breakupwithbooze. And then, yeah, I quit smoking 1 month before I quit drinking. I was like feeling so gross and icky. My soul felt dirty. And I really prayed that it was the smoking. I really prayed that I could just quit smoking and all my problems would go away. Because I felt like I wasn't putting my real self out to anyone. There was a wall in between me and anyone I met. And even my son, if he was out here and I was smoking, which was always, my smoking picked up steam too a lot. I didn't want him near me because I was blowing smoke in his face. I didn't hug him as much. I didn't kiss my husband as much because I was always smoking. And I didn't get close to people. It was my little smoke wall. So I was kind of praying to God that please let this just, once I quit smoking, I'll feel better. No, I didn't. I still felt like scum of the earth deep down in my soul. And I've known for years, I've known for a million years that I never should have even picked up the first drink, but I thought I would be different. I thought I could handle it better than my mom or my grandmother. And no, it's not like that. You don't just get to choose. It's not like I got to make a decision and said, that's it. I'm not going to be an alcoholic. I'm not going to be a drunk. I'm going to be one of those classy ladies who has the 1 or 2 wines and gets really giggly. Like, I thought that could be me, but it wasn't. I was the polar opposite. 5150, if you've ever heard of that. 5 years sober. Hey, sober Ash. The light went out on this. Hopefully that's fine. So the smoking, and there's a couple of books that I recommend. If you grab my 7 easy tips, they're in the comments right there. You can get all the tips, and the books and the podcasts that I suggest are in there. And if you need more help, I've got tons more stuff. I do one-on-one coaching. I have a 30-day glow up course, which is how this all kind of started, and it's amazing. It's literally the blueprint, what I did exactly day by day for 30 days of videos that will show you how to get sober and how to do it without the labels and AA. So I'm sweating. All right, I'm gonna go. It's been 20 minutes. Do you guys have any questions? Let's see. I like your style. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a disease, a lot of stigma. Yeah, there is a lot of stigma. 1 month. Sugar cravings. Let me speak to that for a second because this caught me off guard. I did not like sugar. I really didn't eat. I was at the point where I wasn't eating that much either. Just all my calories came from a big old mega Merlot. And so if you think about how much sugar, you can even Google it when we hang up. How much sugar is in your favorite beverage that you drink every night or every weekend or once a week or whatever? Like, find out how much sugar that was, and you're going to be shocked at what your body is going through. Not only chemical withdrawal and a physical withdrawal, but a freaking sugar withdrawal. Your body, you know, you've heard about sugar and what that does to your body. So you may not think vodka has that in there, but it's a lot. Potato sugar, maybe potato alcohol, I don't know, but wine, my red wine. And so one day I was doing a picnic. I was newly sober. These chickens, I don't know what I wish you could see them. Have they been walking behind me at all? I was newly sober and I went to meet with some girlfriends and I brought all this like charcuterie board, like all the things. And it was almost fall. It was in September when I quit drinking. And I brought apple cinnamon donuts. And from Trader Joe's, I think. And I cut them all into little bitty things and nobody ate them. And I brought them home and I found myself standing in the kitchen over this trough of freaking cut up donuts and ate almost every single one of them without taking a breath and was like, holy shit, what just happened? And it was a sugar craving. And I learned from that moment on, you got to be prepared, get yourself some sugar-free sugar, or sugar-free chocolate, or like Lily's, they make these chocolate chips that aren't so much sugar. Or you can even get bars of dark chocolate at Aldi. So be prepared because they are coming for you. You are going to have sugar cravings, and I can't say how long they last because I'll still go and get a handful of chocolate chips and and eat them. So be prepared. There's a lot of things you should know before you quit, and that's why I want you to take the Mindset Masterclass. We just prepare you, and then the breakup with booze, and then there's just, all these things are lined up just for you to start, gathering data. Find out what it is about sobriety that is holding you back, because I know you want it. We all do. We all want to be free once and for all. All right. Thank you very much. Love you. Have a great day. I gotta figure out how to end it, and if I can see these comments later. I'm so bad at this. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you, Nadine. Let's see here. Oh, I got another question here. No, I'll answer it. I'll answer it in the comments. Okay, bye guys.